change is, you could easily see that internet has changed from like a first phase where we just went online to get information to a second phase where we contributed as well. We didn't just look at a YouTube clip, we also uploaded our own clip. And you can even see a third phase evolving somehow, where we're not hardly looking at all, but we're expecting information to reach us online, on Facebook and so on. And so this poses a very new and different situation for media houses, which has been almost having a monopoly on information. And now everyone contributes with the information, and that means that for media houses we need to have a new strategy on how we use it and how we go about it. First of all, the media houses are coping very badly, I would say. Overall, in the world, there are only a few media houses that are doing quite good. But that doesn't just that's not just about the business model. It's about how to really stay relevant, to do a online newspaper. Today, mainly online, we kind of copy the printed edition and do it online, and because that's really what we know the best how to do. So we take that knowledge and we put it online, but that is really not working as well as it should be. And in Europe, we're seeing that people are liking Facebook or the openly, social places, and that means that we need to be there, of course. But that's another question. And the business model, of course, it's very important. There are media houses that are having a functional business model. In Sweden, we have Aftonbladet, one of the largest ones, that could actually be shutting down the printed edition and just be doing quite well on the online edition. But I think we need to see that information needs to be free, and actually it has always been free. What we have been taking money on is the distribution. It's a distribution model, and that is what has changed. We could actually, I spoke about that earlier, that you could actually take the distribution and the amount that every newspaper puts on distribution and printing, and then you could look at how much you get from subscriptions and selling newspaper, and it's about the same. So it's not actually the subscriptions that we have been getting money from, it's always been the ads. So the problem online is that companies don't like the web as much as they did with the printed newspaper, and that's a culture which we need to change, and we need to really focus on changing. And I think that's a big challenge for media houses today. How do we get the ads online to be as valuable for the companies as they feel that they are on print? Well, it's changed in the way that the printed news or news houses has always been kind of treasuring the distance between the reader. So what has happened in Europe and in Sweden is that many of the readers or the citizens has actually started creating their own kind of newspapers, but just blogs, maybe writing on their daily life, but sometimes just doing a journalistic piece actually. And that means that everyone is potentially a journalist actually. They could be on the right spot, taking a photo, publishing it online, and this means that for a reader, if I want the very latest on breaking news, for example, I will not turn to traditional media anymore. I will turn to social media to get the very latest updates. And this is a great and big transition, and we need to be really careful as traditional media houses on how do we go about this. We need to appreciate what citizens are doing. We need to embrace it, and we need to do journalism, take all that knowledge and the things that we have and been doing for so many years so very well, and put it online together with the citizen, and do better journalism. Yeah, we could look at one very close event for me is, of course, the Norway massacre, where where there was a first a bomb in the city center of Oslo, and then there was a terrorist shooting 80 kids on an island. And what we could see there is that, of course, the story broke by everyday people, citizens, taking a photo of the horrific bomb, and even recording videos and posting it online on YouTube. And it was those pictures that was later spread through traditional media. And on Utöya island, where they were shot, it was the very kids that was actually shot that was the ones that were reporting about the terror and so on. And these were the ones that we got information from. And even though you could sit, and for myself, I watched 24 hours, 48 hours straight on traditional media, and I really wanted to know every bit what is happening. And I was watching my TV and my news sites, and then I was also watching my social media streams. And it was the social media that was almost every time more correct than the traditional media, because they were sitting there guessing, not reading, what people were posting, or how citizen journalists figured things out, and kind of pulled strings together, and actually did better analysis than traditional media. So that is one big event, I think, which really proved that actually every major event has it's the citizens that is telling the story, and so that is really a big shift in how we communicate and how we collect. And that's really one of the main points, that we need to treasure what we are actually good at and what we have been training for many years, and to see that the search for news and like kind of the nose for good news that we build up, it can be applied to social media. So we need to see that our main object as journalists is to be where the readers are, to collect information from the readers. Maybe today or in the past it has been like people phoning, giving us information, things like that. But today it's much more important that the right people get information, that are my friends or that are my relatives or whatever, than 2 million people getting the information. So it's enough for me to publish on Facebook, on my blog, or on Twitter. So that means that as for journalists, we need to be where these stories are published and collect them, and also see that citizens are actually willing to reach the truth and to try to help finding the truth in many ways. And instead of just being a few journalists on the news desk trying to figure things out, be open and go ask the public, crowdsource information, and see how journalism can actually be created together. That's a difficult thing, and I think it's not a one fix for it. I think it's appreciating that whatever our readers or the citizen are using social media for, we need to appreciate that. It's not our object or mission to change our citizens or to change our readers. We just need to say, okay, in other parts of the world or in other parts of India, people are actually engaging in social media with newspapers through social media. And how can we learn from them? And if people are just wanting to have fun, how can we have fun together with them? Because the main thing right now for India, I think, is to really let people know that the gap that has been between the paper and the reader needs to be closed, and we really want you to be a part of us because it's important. Otherwise we will end up like in Europe, where this gap has just meant that people are turning to other sources of information and other sites perhaps as well.